What's up, love bugs? So I am back again with another video. Okay, so I am kind of doing something a little different. Like I told y'all in the last video, some new things are going to be happening on my YouTube channel in 2020, and one of them is going to be like a book club type of thing. So basically, you can decide if you want to join my book club and read the next book that I'm reading with me, or basically what I'm going to do is do like a recap type of, not a recap, but a reaction to the book after I finish reading it. So like you guys know, it's been a while, but I've been super busy. Things have been all over the place, so therefore it took me a long time to read this book. I mean, maybe like 2 months, so maybe not that long, but it took me a minute to read this book. But I have finally finished it, and I am so happy that I stuck through with it and actually went all the way and read all of the read the whole book. So this book is called More Than Enough by Elaine. And so previously to get, well, my sister got this book and I took it from her. But when she got this book, I've never heard of this lady before, this author, like, ever. And so I looked her up, and I still wasn't sure. I just knew like that she worked at different magazines and that she was an editor and everything in that nature. And I kind of learned more about her through this book. But I wasn't really sure. But I listened to this podcast called Black Girls Podcast, and one of the guests that they had on there was her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm reading her book. This is crazy. But anyway, so when I first started reading this book, I was kind of like, is this book just going to be about her life in a way? Because I mean, I don't mind memoirs and, you know, people writing about their life, but I was just trying to figure out like what kind of book it's going to be. If you guys hear like a noise in the background, that's my computer on the side. I am currently uploading a video right now for you all, so that's what you hear in the background if you hear something. But anyway, so this book was very interesting, and I say that to say basically it was more than what I expected. Like, I really learned a lot from this book and got a lot from this book. So basically she just wrote about her life. She wrote about her being she wrote about like her younger life and the things that she had went through with living like in a country, going to mostly predominantly white schools, and how her and her brother parents are black and white, and that she had difficulty trying to figure out what her, like, who she was, her identity. It took her a minute to find out who she was, because a lot of times in schools through projects and everything, all she seen was like Caucasian white people, and so she couldn't figure out like what her roots was connected to being black. And so over the years, as she got older, she found more and more out about like who she was and finding her identity. And she talks about like the things that she went through in college, things she went through in high school, then after college, how she went to New York and started her career. And basically it was a book where she wrote about her life, but through her life she talked about like different different things that happened, her life lessons that she had learned, what she took away from things that happened in her life, whether it was good or bad, and how she started her career. She was going through a lot of things, and she was always just kind of like pushing herself a lot, and she kind of was just lost, but also knew exactly what she wanted to do. But in spite of all of that, like, she kept finding different lessons in the struggles or difficulties that she was going through. And that's what I like about this book, is that I actually was able to take away some things, and it actually opened my eyes to, you know, just believing more in myself, believing in my dreams, knowing that exactly what the book says, more than enough, knowing that I gotta do stuff for me, the dreams that I want. And just because sometimes a dream may seem like it went away doesn't mean that it has died. It can always come back to life later on in your life. You never know. And to just not dwell on what's not happening in your life, but to focus on what is happening in my life, and to be able to take what is going on and learn something from it and figure out why God has positioned me there. And it spoke so much to like what I'm actually going through right now in my life. And so she really like really helped me with that. And I also, so I'm gonna share a few things with y'all. I never did this when I read a book before, but I never read this when I never done this before when I was reading books, but I decided this time that as I read and I find like a sentence or something that kind of stuck out to me, that I wrote it down in my notes on my phone to be able to look back at it after I read and really like do a full circle of from beginning to end of me reading the book, things that I've learned, what I took away from it, and how it has helped me. Because I want to be able to just not read books to read books, but I find an interest in reading books because I like books that help me with my life. And I'm not big on a certain genre. I can read all different kind of books, but I want to be able to take away something from the book though that can help me in my life. So those are the books that I kind of get attached to and that I find, but they're not all like memoirs or some are fiction, some are non-fiction. And through all of those genres, I'm able to still take away something from the book. So that's what my focus been on. Every time I go get a book or buy a book, or my sister get a book and I want to read one of the books that she bought, that's kind of what I'm attached to. But anyway, so I'm just going to read the notes that I wrote down, and then like maybe something that kind of stuck out to me with it or why I wrote it down. So the first thing says, nothing bad ever happens to me. It's all to learn and grow. And so I wrote that down because sometimes like right now I'm trying to figure out why God positioned me at the job I'm in. Because yes, although I really love what I'm doing right now and it is near and dear to my heart, it's not what I envision for myself. It's not the passion or the dream that I have for myself coming out of college. It's not what I thought I would be at, where I would be right now. And so that right there stuck to me, that nothing bad ever happens to me. It's all to learn and grow. And so at first I was looking at what I'm doing right now as bad or a punishment that God has given me. And so I've been fighting to figure out like, God, why did you do this to me? Like, what did I do? Or what, like, why did you take away something that I loved, other than, you know, using it for your good? Like what I loved, I could be using to bring forth more people to you and everything in that nature. And it's like, God, I feel like you kind of just took that away. But reading that made me look at my situation and realize that it's not bad, but that I can learn from where I'm at right now, and I can grow from this. And whatever position he put me in next, that I could take away whatever I gotten from this job and bring it into the next thing that is for me. Then it says, this bad thing isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. So that kind of connects to what I was just saying, that that it's not happening to me, but it's happening for me to learn and grow. And then the next one says, each day we have the chance to gain lessons from life. And so that one was really good, because sometimes in life we get so stuck on what we should be doing, or why this didn't happen to us, or what if we took that chance to do that, or why we didn't do it. We just have so many questions throughout the day, and we just have to realize that each day is a chance to learn a lesson. And so other than having so many questions of whys or what's or what ifs, we can just take what we have learned that day as a lesson for life and to move on, basically. The next one is, life is like a letter written by a divine pen. And I wrote that down because I was just like, wow, that's deep. Life is like a letter written by a divine pen. Think about that. The next one says, what good is a trailblazer who isn't willing to leave signposts along the way that make it a little less confusing, less lonely, less disorienting for the next woman or a person of color to follow? And so I wrote that down because basically in that part of the book, she was just saying how the magazine that she was working at And she was really like developing really fast in her career, quicker than what she was expecting to do at such a young age. And so she realized that other than you know, just going through the motion and, you know, making accomplishments after accomplishments, she was like, why would I not use everything that I'm gaining right now for the next person younger than me, or for the next black woman next to me right now? And so that's basically what she was just saying. How can you see yourself as being good or doing good if you don't look at life and say, okay, everything that I'm doing good in right now, let me take this and help someone else out, because let's make this less confusing for them. So let me help them in whatever area that they may need help on, or let's make this less hurtful for them. Let me give them a lesson that I learned a different way that they can gain in another way. So I wrote that down. It is the very thing that you underestimate about yourself that will help you create your own magic. That's crazy. I'm really mad that I can't remember where in the book she talked about this certain thing of underestimating herself, but I feel like it was within her being black, in a magazine, or not even being black, but being interracial. And so I feel like she was saying that she was doing her career because she wanted to always write, and, you know, she wanted to be at magazines and work and everything in that nature, but that she had finally realized that this special thing that she has, she's different than a lot of people that surround her in her workplace, and that that could be like her magic, that could be her thing that, you know, set her apart. The thing that she underestimated about herself is the very thing that makes her shine. As long as we know, when the world tells you to shrink, expand. And not just like that, because that was good. Like a shadow, shame follows wherever you go until you make peace with it. So just to not be so hard on yourself. She was saying how, like, when something happened in her career, she was just very like down. Like, she really like put so much on herself for it, and that it was following her into her next steps of like what she was doing, and that she couldn't even focus on that because of this very thing continued to follow her. And so she had to realize that she had to make peace with it to be able to actually move forward. Then the next thing was, but the silver lining with any transition is that the more we kick the doors open on hard truths, the braver we are walking through them. So to just not but so to not turn don't turn the other way just because you may see it being hard, or that you just, it's something that you don't want to face, so you decide to go through another door, but to actually face it and knock it down because something bigger is on the other side. Discovering what you don't want is just as important as finding out what you do. So I was thinking about that, because I'm like, oftentimes we always thinking about like, oh, what do you want to do in the future? What do you plan for the next 5 years? What do you have for the next 10 years? What do you want to do with this? And all we do is look at what we want to do, but we have to find out what we don't want to do to realize what we really want to do, if that makes sense. Gotcha. Okay, falling down.
Okay.
Say hi to Love Bugs.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I'm just doing. I see y'all. What's poppin'? Locking.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so falling down is inevitable. It's the getting back up that's on you. So basically just saying, like, we have to come to conclusion that in life we're going to fall down. It's just something that's going to happen. We can't get rid of it. We can't go around it. We can't jump over it. There's no way of getting around it. Sometimes not sometimes, it is a part of life. We just fall down sometimes, but we have to focus more on how we're going to get back up, where we're going to make of the situation, how we're going to overcome this, how we're going to conquer what just happened. No matter how much value you bring, you will always be disposable. So that sounds like, dang, that's hurtful. But she was talking about how in her job there was a lot of changes going on, in that she was so caught up on all the good things that was happening in her career, and how she was thinking like, oh, they can't fire me, or they won't move me to somewhere different, because like all the good things that I just done for this magazine, like they won't be able to do that. And you know, sometimes we get so caught up in our career, and we have to realize that it's just a job, and that it's just a job, and that companies don't care about us like that. You know what I mean? They just care about their money. They just care about their company. They don't care about the employees within the company. And so we have to know that we're disposable. No matter how much we bring to the table, no matter how much we do for the company, they don't care. They will throw us away as if we never did anything for them. So, you know, go make your own businesses out here. No matter how much you try to blend in, your race walks into every room before you do. And so she was just talking about basically at her career working at the magazine, she works around a lot of white people, and that it was only a few of them that were black, and that we go into a room and we try to fit in all the time, other than realizing that that's just never going to happen, because the first thing people see is our skin color. I mean, it's sad that is the case, but that's the first thing that people see when we walk into the room. And so we have to make the best of who we are. All we can do is be us. You have to just be true to you. You can't fit in anywhere, because the more you're trying to fit in, the less you are yourself. And the less you are yourself, it's never a good outcome that's going to come from it, because at the end you're being fake. You're being someone that you aren't, and that's not going to get you anywhere in life. You have to stay true to who you are. You have to be the best you, because there's nobody else in the world that's like you. You are one of a kind, and so you have to take that and walk into the room with that type of confidence, not walk into the room with the confidence of I'm gonna fit in to be able to maneuver my way. Now, no, you have to understand that this is what I come with. I'm black, and I have to know that this is what the first thing that they're gonna see. So now, how am I gonna present myself in that type of way? In order to change the stories, you must change the storytellers. That was good. And this is getting long, so I'm trying to hurry up for y'all. You are no good to anyone if you are not good to yourself. And so this was all towards the end of the book, and she was realizing that she had so much stress and anxiety going on from years of her in her career, that she wasn't taking care of herself at all. And her mom will always tell her like that you need to take care of yourself, because if you don't, then nothing else is good for you. You know, like if you're not good to your body not gonna be good to you in a way. And so she was realizing that all this anxiety and stress was getting to her, and that she was getting tired. Her body was tired, and so she had to realize that her mom used to always tell her, you are no good to anyone if you are not good to yourself. And so I wrote that down because I'm that way. I put so much stress on myself. I just move. I gotta do next thing. And since I've been out of college, I've been a little bit more slow with that. I haven't been so like, I gotta do. But it's still where it's like I always want to do something. Like I just cannot sit down. Or if I sit down, I feel like I'm not doing nothing with my life. I'm wasting my time. And so I deal with being able to balance those two. Being able to be okay with just relaxing and knowing that it's okay to not do things sometimes. And that you not doing anything doesn't mean that you're wasting time in life. It just means that you're trying to relax for once. And so I had to write that down as a reminder. Then the next thing he says, when the music changes, so must your dance. So must your dances. And so I wrote that down because like I love to dance, and I thought that was just so beautiful to like think about, you know, when the music changes, so must your dances. So it was just basically saying when life changes, when God gives you a new platform, when God puts you in a new position, puts you in a new placement in your life, that you gotta also, your dance moves gotta change as well. You know, you can't go into something new with the old moves. Basically, you know, you gotta change your moves. You got to adjust your moves based off of where you are at in your life. And so when the music changes, so does your dance moves. There is no glory in a fine that literally grinds you down to dust. That was, so I'm gonna find that because I don't think that's exactly what it said. Okay, there is no glory in a grind that literally grinds you down to dust. So there is no glory in a grind that literally grinds you down to dust. So we all are about, well, I know I am. I'm always like, I gotta grind. But if I grind so hard, I'm not gonna be able to ever celebrate. I'm not gonna be able to see that glory because I ain't grind myself into dust. I ain't made my body tired, and now I'm unable to even see the glory of what I've been grinding so hard to do because I didn't do the balance of it. So that's what that's about. And then just two more things. Okay, so it cut off on me because it was too long. But anyway, the last three things is that job titles are temporary, but purpose is infinite. Job titles are temporary, but purpose is infinite. Okay, that means that your job title is temporary because jobs come and go, but your purpose will never leave you. Your purpose will follow you no matter where you are at in your journey of life. Your purpose is what you're here on life for. Your job title, if your job, like a job title is a job title. If your career is your purpose, continue with your career then, because that's God gave you that purpose for you to be right there. But we have to realize that we get so caught up on our jobs because we're in this survival mode in life that we forget that the biggest reason we're here, the main reason we're here, is for assignment. And our assignment is to find our purpose and to fulfill our purpose through life. And so to fulfill our purpose through life, we have to realize that our job title is temporary. So don't get caught up on your job, but get caught up on your purpose. Don't get caught up on your job, but get caught up on your purpose. Something that's always there, timeless, limitless. Okay, so page 276, that's what I wrote down. So when I was saying, when the music changes, so must your dance. It was the most beautifully worded truth, a profound lesson reminding me to trust my instincts, to let life guide me, and to never stay anywhere doing the same things longer than I was supposed to. It did more than just help get me through one of the hardest breaks of my 20s. It will eventually help me to get through my biggest professional breakups too. So I was just, like I said, when the music changes, so much of dances. So she was just saying that, you know, you gotta just trust your instincts, and when it's time to move on, you have to move on. You have to go to that next thing that God has provided for you to do, the next thing He has set for you on earth to do. And then the last thing I wanted to do was just read this conclusion part. Our lives are a series of dreams realized. We don't say that enough. Instead, we repeatedly ask children, what do you want to be when you grow up? As if one answer, one dream, one career path can define you throughout your whole life. The truth is, job titles are temporary, but purpose is infinite. There are no destinations, no happily ever afters in real life, no glossy pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They are only new beginnings. There are only new beginnings. And so I wrote that down for myself because it's crazy, because just like, so my job is, you know, being a program director for a nonprofit. And so I work for a school dish. I work for a charter school, so I go to 5 different schools, and the program are in school and after school. And so I was just doing this personalized vision with the kids this past week. And one of the things that I was telling them as I was talking about your life vision is I kept saying, well, what do you want to be when you get older? What do you want to do? And I had to also realize that it's good to, you know, to ask kids, you know, what do you want to be or what do you want to do when you get older, to give them something to look forward to, but also to realize that you can also, I started to ask them towards the end, like, what do you want to do now? What do you like to do now? What are you excited for now? Because when you look at the now, sometimes your dreams are already right there, or sometimes what you like to do now is connected to something that you want to do in the future. And so, I don't know. It's just kind of sad with me what she was saying, like that there's no one goal or no one dream, that your purpose can be more than just one thing, you know. We have talents and gifts, and it's more than one talent that we have. It's more than one gift that we have, and all of those things are just implemented into our purpose. And so it's exactly what she said. It's more than just one dream, one answer, one career path. Like, what you want to do when you get older, it doesn't have to be set on one thing. It can be way more than that. And so anyway, I just want to say shout out to her for writing this book, More Than Enough, because it really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I just wasn't paying attention to, or that I just kind of forgot about, or just never thought of. And so she did really good with this book, and I really loved how she wrote it and how it all connected, all the chapters connected to each one, and how at the end it kind of all came full circle of everything. And I like how in each chapter, like at the beginning of each chapter, she had like a quote or a phrase that came from, you know, somebody in her life that she found important, whether it was a celebrity, her mom, her mentor. Like, it came from somebody that meant something to her. And so shout out to you, girl, because this book is rocking. But anyway, so just remember to be the best you that you can be. Be you. You are more than enough. You are enough. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you are less than who you are. When the world tells you to shrink, what do? Expand, like she said. So I love you guys, and I will see you in my next vlog.